Yeet. We send a little tweet. And a couple of Discord messages. Bum ba-dum ba-dum. Bum. Bum. Ah. There we are. Like this out here. Drink a little water. And let's get to work. Concept art. We'll want this open. Because you always want this open. Alright. The time has come. The sketch. Ooh, I don't have the bigger version. That's alright. Bird. Reference. Where do we start with replicating this beast? Always an important question. Do we want to start on a bigger canvas? That is also an important question. Why don't we make the canvas a little bigger? Let's go 2,000 by 1,500. This will give us a little more wiggle room. I'd say it's important. Alright. Actually did that with clean lines. I'm amazing. I think. Or they're just shrunken down so much that it doesn't know the difference. Either way, I'll take it. Let me open the original. So I have the color palette readily available. There you are. Aha, I lied. I did do it. I did do it just with the pencil lines. That's okay. I will be doing this one with pencil lines as well because it follows the style of every other thing that I've done. Hello, Snow Cloud. Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. How are you doing today? You have work, but you shall lurk? It rhymes, so it must be true, and that is perfectly fine. Yes, you are the first, the one and only. Welcome to the stream. And I appreciate the lurk, by the way. Hydrate? I'll hydrate. I'm now hydrated. Let's see. You want to get the same general body shape first, I'd say. Meow. Got like a humped back. Just a little guy. I really like that design. Hold on. Let's take the time to do it right. Hardest part about drawing. Drawing the same thing. Again. Seems like it'd be easy, but it's really not. Make the canvas wider. 2,200 would be fine. Bonk. There we go. Of course, all of this is just sketch, so I'm gonna be figuring all this out as I go along. But you gotta start somewhere. Got kind of a chunky body. I appreciate the chunky body. Hold on. Oh. Boink. There we are. Make the tail a little bit wider, as it is in the original. Maybe a little more curvature. Transition so smoothly there. Let's replicate that. There we go. More like that, I think. Tail. Big tail. I want to make the head a little bigger. This is a pretty small dude. Now he doesn't have much body. Hold on. Maybe not that big. There we go. Of course, we'll need the iconic digging hands. They are a pretty central feature to this particular critter. Need more body? Ah, the balance, the balance. The body head balance, basically. The balance of the head and the body. Good. Definitely better, I think. Step in the right direction. We are. And the bump is in the back. The arch is mainly between... It's kind of like between the arms and legs. Okay. Make a line up where they'd be. Got like the legs. Do this to picky uppy foot. I like that. There we are. Steppies. Little feetsies. Big hands too. Bum. The tail a little longer since it's looking a little bit short. There we are. Focus on this little funky head. Just for a second. Quite a bit more elongate than what I've got. We will reflect that. The rest of it. How'd I do this? Just simple. Simple beak. But it did slope more evenly than that. Eyes like back here. It has cheeks, of course. Little big, little big. Oh, right, hold on. Go. Now it's starting to look similar. We're missing an iconic piece, though. The crest. Dang, now I'm gonna have to name this guy. Also, do I want it to be a little taller? Good question. I think so. The back doesn't slope very gently. Let's fix that. I think that'll do. Now, how's the body looking? Once again, too small, or raise it up a little bit? I think it'd be wise to give it a little more leg. There we are. Not so stiff. Hold on. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Stiff bad. Stiff bad. 1 piece. 2 piece. 3 piece. There we are. Jonesy, hello! Welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. As you can see, we're doing a little art. Sunfish will draw many lines. It will be confusing, but it will all make sense in the end. Surely. Wow, you're drawing dinosaurs! I wish, this isn't really a dinosaur. I mean, it definitely looks like one. But in reality, this is not a real dinosaur, unfortunately. This is actually a fantasy creature that I've made. Very dinosaur-like, most definitely. I wouldn't deny that at all. In fact, you could easily interpret this as a dinosaur. But it is not. It would be misleading for me to say that, yes, this is a dinosaur. Fantasy creatures are super cool as well. Well, yes, indeed. If you didn't know, I'm quite fond. Also, Inkster, welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing well. And welcome to the stream. What's this for? This is for my itty bitty little fantasy world building project, which doesn't have a name. So, but I really like designing creatures for it. So we have a ton of creatures. I have most of the lore worked out, but it's missing a lot of pieces still. So I'm still working on that. Doing good. Jonesy Sr. didn't get the greatest news at the doctor, but he and I are both hopeful. And you got Kirby. Well, first of all, I hope everything turns out well for you, for Jonesy Sr. I'm wishing you well on that. And awesome on getting Kirby. I hope you have a lot of fun with that. Just waiting on your food. Don't have too much creativity for this. That's so epic. Hey, it's a muscle. If you work it out and you work on it, you can do it if you really want to. But also, thank you. I do appreciate that. I think then looking at this, I need to make his body longer because he needs more body to be a snake. And is anything else need changed? I think I'd update this to have 2 legs and a little more body, like paired legs, like everything else has. Everything else has paired legs. This one doesn't because it was one of my first ones. I hadn't decided on if I was doing paired legs yet. So yeah, that one needs an update, and this guy does. I'll get to that later though. Right now, work on a new guy, which is this thing. So I've already drawn it. Now I'm just, but it's not quite at the right perspective, and I do want to make a few changes. So before it goes on to the official list, then it needs to be updated. Those things are enormous. Yes, a lot of the sea creatures especially are very big. But there's plenty of big land ones as well. This is your average person. Of course, this one has whale lifestyle, so it grew big. It has plenty of space. But of course, we have the eel dragon. Emerald Sea Serpent is what it's actually called. I have professional names for all of these, and then I have the original file names for everything. So like this one's just Whale Dragon, but I think it's the Sea Swallower is what I settled on. And then like this is the Boulder Beetle. I like that one, but that one doesn't have a good name. Let's see, what is this one? Is this? Hold on. Sadly, I need to refresh my Microsoft Word's description, basically. Hold on. Concept art. I have a document for names, but I can't type in it right now. I need to update my my license because I upgraded my software, so it doesn't work. So my Microsoft Word doesn't work. Did I name it? Okay, Blue Throat Sprinter is the big one. Did I not name it? Oh, it's the Crested Drake. I forgot. I've named it that from the beginning. Okay, so this little guy is the Crested Drake. Because he's got a crest on his head. Pretty cool. My naming convention is pretty simple. It's like, what is this? What is the main feature of it? What type of dragon is it? Done, done, done. There you go. This one, I don't think has a name though, so we're gonna have to name it tonight. Drawings and stuff. Concept art. Right now it's just called Runny Dino. Runny Dino. Yeah, I have the file working name, then I eventually think of a smarter name for it. That's usually how my naming convention goes. This one also has a crest, but we can't reuse Crested Drake. That wouldn't make sense. Imagine the females have small crests, but the males have big ones. It's a display structure. Not quite the right shape, but it's pretty close. And it connects in front of the eye. I'm just trying to maintain the consistency I already established because I like the design a lot. It just needs a few tweaks. Like the head overall in proportion to the body size needs to be bigger since this is actually a small creature. So they generally have slightly larger heads. Just to make it look small. Otherwise it won't look small. It's supposed to, so that's a no good. We're just gonna put the crest has to attach to the back of the skull, so we have to figure out where that is. Probably be somewhere around here. The crest has to be. Alright, cool, cool. We got it, we got it. There it is. There it is. We're gonna sketch it out, do some simple lines for it, and then put it on the big creature chart. Do we want to do the hands in more interesting positions? I think so. That way they can both be seen. And this one can be in a more standard position. That should do. They got big claws they use for digging up like roots and stuff. And they have beaks for eating stuff. Basically, how I work when I'm designing my fantasy creatures is I like to mostly adhere to biological principles, and then, you know, you gotta throw a little bit of magic elements in there too. Of course, flight would be impossible pretty much for a creature the size of a dragon, because, or at least of the proportions of a dragon, because dragons have big, powerful bodies, and if you look at something like Quetzalcoatlus, which is something that was really big and could fly, it has a teeny tiny body and a giant head, because that's all it can lift. And because of that, dragons, as we know, are fundamentally kind of impossible. But I do like to play into the classical fantasy a bit still. So basically, I like to design my creatures slightly more realistically, but I do give leeway for, you know, having fun with the designs. After all, it is a magical world that these creatures live in. Let's put on the legs, basically, before we decide anything. Small body. Should it be longer? Should the body be longer? Great question, me. I think it should be at least a little bit longer. Give it a little more room to have, like, a gut and all those essential things that allow it to be alive. I gotten rid of the hump? I did get rid of the hump. How dare I? It's very distinct on this one, but on the original reference, but here I've mostly gotten rid of it. How dare I? How dare I? Oh boy, recreating drawings is always hard. That is the thing about this kind of work, is recreating your creature designs is never easy. There we go. That's more like it. I think I want the tail to be a little chunkier. Oh. Bonk, bonk. Got a bit of an itch. Bit of an itch. Hard to scratch with these little things. They're not very long. So since this is a runner, it's gonna have like chicken drumstick style legs. It's gonna be big and little. Let's see, do that. Have like a foot structure. That should do. Feels shorter. Feels shorter. Hold on. Hold on a minute. That. There we go. Did it this way. That. But I feel like you should have more shoulder. Muscly dino. And then the hands, of course, are very simple. Because of the way I drew them. Let's do the same thing. Let's do like a mitt. That way we actually have defined hands. But they still kind of blend in. It works out with the original design too. Or like there we go. We do something like that. I don't know. Good question. Maybe I should get some more references. Maybe. There we are. You know what? That's a pretty good idea, me. Let's get some reference for a Dryosaurus. Saurus. Yeah. Images. I just connected. But something I am seeing a lot of is the arm connected all the way down at the base. Actually, that's a good point. That's a very good point. I will amend this. And right on the front. There we go. There we are. Now it's got some arms in the proper spot. Except for this one. This one is now in dubious position. The body seems a bit long for the tail. I think it needs more tail. Let's extend the canvas. Bonk. Oh wait, we want it on this side. 2,500. Tail. Be extended. Oh mighty tail. What amazing counterweight you will provide now. There we go. Let's connect this here. Do our similar structure. This is like hypothetically more like this. Be facing away, so it'd be like one there, one there. This the runner wouldn't have too elaborate of a toe setup. It'd be some. It wouldn't be. It'd be fairly simple. Reduce drag. Because drag is apparently a major factor in determining how fast you can go. Or at the very least, it's very important for making it more efficient to go fast, which very well may be the answer. Let's make a new layer, and I'm gonna scribble in this other arm back here, about here, back, and forward. Good. Basically, just so we have both hands, at least partially in view. Even if not all that much. Bonk, bonk. Oof. A little farther forward. There we go. Yeah, got some toes. Now he'd be walking. There we go. Let's get some fingies. Now, of course, fingers wouldn't just be nubs unless they were fused together. Like so. These are mostly fused together. Help with digging. There we are. Hands. Ooh, those look quite mean. Quite mean indeed. It's super effective. Ooh. See if we can get all this done in one night. We should be able to. There we are. That's the same size as the other side. Seems to be about right. I kind of look... I would say it looks a bit spindly, but... maybe we should downsize it just a little bit. It looks really big. Nope. Oh. There we go. Like, why can't I transform it? And that's why. I'm just not on the right layer. Let's shrink this down as well. There we are. Oof. Let's stretch this just a little bit. Also, I forgot to establish my solid ground. The angle at which the ground is. It's quite important. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's just erase this all real quick. Place our feet firmly upon the ground. Take a step. Got pretty small steppers though. The middle claw only being slightly longer than the other toe. Seem about right? I think so. There we go. Alright, what little markings do we have on here? Reduce this. Is there any belly marking that I add 9 times out of 10? Guess not. Is, however, a line. Along the base of the neck and along the tail. Oh, not along the tail? No, it stops. Okay. But there is one along the base. Let's definitely add that one in. And do we want this one on the tail? Make it, let's make it kind of all the pattern, I think. There we go. That should do. More leg. More leg. Needs a clear indication that there is leg. Maybe. Maybe less leg. this up here. We just imply, you know, just imply. This a little more clear. That it's a pretty big leg. We want one of those tiny legs. Pronounced, maybe. Quite possibly. Keep it back down to size, eh? Right, I think that will work, except this foot is way smaller than the other one right now. Must fix. Those would go quite far, considering this bend here is all toe. Hypothetically, this is all toe. The foot could be up here. Wider. There we go. Should be workable. Get some lines! We will use the rough pencil for tradition. Because that is the tool I use for all of these. You know, I should really add a stretch redeem. That would be pretty cool. I'm good stretch. Give me little drawing tools a break. Coming along well, though. I think, yeah, we'll be able to get this done by the night, especially since we're doing black color, and we still have an hour and a half left. And we're already on the lines. Be able to get any little final tweaks done pretty soon. Alright. Back to the fray. Snout became a lot more bird-like in this version, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. There we go. That's a little better. Birds are dinosaurs after all. This thing is very much like a dinosaur, as previously pointed out. Crest is relatively flat, so we should get some lines here. Yeah. And the eyes should actually be kind of big, because this is a small critter. Big eyes help to make it look small. Big eyes, big heads. Also works for making like babies. Do that. I think that will do. I feel like we just listened to this song. Quite possible. Did we? We did! Okay. Time to skip. Or do we want to switch to different? Let's do EDM. Different vibes entirely. What's the lower jaw like on this? Oh, it does actually curve back. Guess we'll mimic that. Because, you know, it's what I've been doing by accident. Sometimes something is so right you don't even know it is. Your brain just knows. Speaking of nose, this guy will need one. Otherwise he won't be able to smell. These vibes are too dissimilar to what we had before. Let's go lo-fi. Lo-fi never done me wrong. The track is called Mute City, but please, Pretzel, I need some audio. There we go. If I don't have audio while I work, I think I'll combust. It's just how it is. There we go. Now we got some tunes. There we are. Got some Steve's claws, man. With just a little bit of separation between them. Kind of like a mole. These things are good for digging up food or doing some serious damage. In self-defense, or, you know, between rivals. Dum-de-dum. We want a little bit of a curve there, I think. There we are. Meow. Now we have like, oh, on the case. I was about to say, now we have like mystery music. And it's true, we do have mystery music. Meow. Bonk, bonk. Drink some water. Alright. Get the second arm. Or at least what little pokes out. Can't see it. Silence. There we go. Now I can see it. It'd be like the underside of the glass. There you go. We got some clothes. Ah, what happened? We got this. Kind of go by the underside of claws. How they have some markings on them. Had to put it on. I think that should do. A little more. A little bit. There we go. Look okay? Such big hands. Let's give it some detail. Effect is kind of funny. The effect on the music right now. Very interesting. There we go. that should do, I think. Maybe? How's it look? Viable, I'd say. Meow. This reminds me of the Dryasauruses in Jurassic World Evolution, which were very small and cute and wonderful. Jurassic World Evolution 2, I believe, is where they... Well, it's where I've seen them, but where they appear for the first time, I think? I'm not sure, actually. Whatever the case, Drysaurus is very cute in that game. Because it's all round and has huge eyes, and it's just wonderful. I'd put it in any park I can. Here we go. Ooh, layer check. Lines? Our lines are on the right layer. Thank you for the layer check, though. I appreciate you, Jonesy. Nothing worse than working on your line art and then clicking and realizing, oh, hold on. This has all been on the wrong layer. And then you get to erase it and redo it. It's fun. Fun. Amazing fun. Like an adventure. Except you already did the adventure, and now you're doing it again. Working on some little toesies. It'd be kind of flat, right? It is on the bottom of the foot. You know very little about RC programs. You figure it wouldn't hurt for a double check? Ah, no problem. Basically, how layers work is think of sheets of paper stacked on top of each other, and you can draw on them individually that way. So the higher layers are up higher, of course, and they are higher in the visual hierarchy. So I could change this to be underneath this layer, and you can barely tell. Oh dear, it's a bad example. You know, basically, sheets of paper stacked on top of each other allow me to have one over the other, basically. So if I take this and put it on top, now it covers that. Which is super handy for keeping layers separate and for sketching and all that. So layers are basically both your savior and your curse in digital art, because they can lead to mistakes and setbacks, but they also are super duper useful for everything else. It also allows you to edit content on one layer without editing content on the layers beneath it or above it, which is extremely helpful, especially in more complex pieces. And then some people just like to go do it in a traditional artsy style, and they'll do it all in one layer, which is perfectly fine. Perhaps they just prefer the convenience of digital, but I like to really use my layers and take advantage of the fact that I am working with a digital medium. And I can, that is the main advantage of digital art over traditional art, is the ability to change anything you want at any time. Very helpful. So I prefer to take advantage of that fully. I can edit anything on the top layers without interfering with anything in the layers beneath. Or just on the layer, just the layers that aren't on the layer I'm already on. Pretty great. No. Oh, wrong. Wrong lever! There we go. Probably need to get some food after the stream. I'm a little hungry. You know, I really should make sometime is a BRB screen. That seems like an important detail. One of these days I'll make one. Bonk. Shakes down technology. Let it ship food to people through the internet. I know, right? Wouldn't that be great? Oh boy, that would be amazing. Like, why can't I email you a piece of lettuce or a burger? I don't know why I'd want to email you exactly one piece of lettuce, but I don't know. It would be pretty cool if I could. When are we getting food replicators? That's the question. You actually love a single piece of lettuce right now? Well, if you love a single piece of lettuce, do you want multiple pieces of lettuce right now? You know those times when you're just hungry for some lettuce? Like, you know, that sounds kind of crunchy right now. I would like that lettuce. Of course, lettuce really doesn't give much in the ways of nourishment. It's mostly nutrients, but not much calorie. It's great if you're eating healthy, but not so great if you're munching. Or maybe it is great, I don't know. I hear pork rinds are pretty good for that. Like, they're mostly airy and they have protein instead of other things like carbs. I mean, they probably still have carbs, but I don't know. They're very airy, so they have very good crunch, but don't fill you up too much. I like pork rinds. Now I want pork rinds. Or crackers. I don't know. Crackers would be good. I think I just am hungry. I just want food in general. Any food will do. Like these. A little more normally. Just go self-care and get you some food. I should. I'm not really that like I'm feeling munchies, but I'm not that hungry. I think. Like I mean, I just said I'm kind of hungry, but I don't know. It's weird. And I can't. I don't have a I don't have a BRB screen. What if people show up while I'm not here? I mean, I guess I could just write BRB. I've done that before. A single bowl of chips is something I have to to stave off the munchies. Do we have any? I mean, we do have chips, but I don't know. I kind of do like to eat healthy, or at least pretend I do. Because I know I don't all the time, but also, yes, the scribble BRB on a separate layer would probably suffice. Yes, that would probably do. I don't know. So we don't have crackers. I think I finished off the crackers. What do we have right now? Of course, pistachios. Not pistachios. Cashews. That's what it is. Kind of nutty. What else do we have? Just thinking of what food we have. A piece of cheese, maybe? We have some Swiss cheese in the food. I don't know. Okay, here's a pretty wild story. No, it's not wild at all. This is an interest. This is a tale of food and trying out food. I didn't really like Swiss cheese before, until we didn't have any other kinds of cheese. So I was like, I really want some cheese, and this is all we have. So I'm gonna eat some Swiss cheese. And it wasn't that great the first time I ate it, but like the more times I eat it, the more I'm like, huh. You know, this isn't really that bad. I kind of like this now. It's weird. Like, I would never prefer Swiss cheese, and I don't think I would prefer it still, but... Like, sure, I'd eat some Swiss cheese just by itself. That sounds good. I don't know, maybe desperation turns your tastes around. Stockholm Syndrome with cheese. I only have Swiss, what do I do? Yes, you grow fond, or I've grown fond for what was keeping me captive. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting. Maybe it's goes into that whole don't knock it till you try it kind of deal. I mean, I did try it before and I didn't like it. I don't know. Maybe my tastes have changed over time. As they do. Something I really couldn't tolerate when I was a smaller fish, a wee fry, is beans, like baked beans, like black beans or kidney beans or any of those beans. I just couldn't handle the texture. I hated the texture. I don't know how I describe it. Didn't like it. Whatever the case, didn't like it. Wasn't a fan. But I just. My family cooked with beans a lot, so I ended up just eating them over and over until I got used to it, and now I can stomach them just fine. Maybe the secret to liking stuff is just to be forced to eat it. That's how you learn to like things you don't. Yeah, that's how the secret to liking food, just eating it over and over again until your body's like, well, guess it's okay. Your dislike of tomatoes would beg to differ. You know, some things are just unshakable, I'd say. See, what is a thing that I still can't tolerate that I would just never eat? Ooh, I'd say, okay. Peas in a pod. I don't know what it is about them, but peas in a pod, doesn't really matter how they're prepared, I just don't like them. They're bad. Taste bad. Is bad. That's the one thing that I don't really like at all. And I'm not... I mean, I was probably more picky... I was more picky when I was younger. Certain squash and peas in a pod, I can't handle. Aside from that, there's not much I won't eat. I realize that the toes are like the exact opposite order for each foot. No, wait, no, they're correct. They're just kind of funky. So I want to keep it like that. I could keep it like that. I could keep it like that. Do I want to keep it like that? Do I want to keep it like that? That is the question of the day. That's some details. How's this looking overall, actually? Big hands for sure. Big head. Ah, foot proportions. They're all wrong. Curses. Curses. Must be amended. Repaired. Get rid of this ridge of spines. You can just be round backed. Angles. Also, this is like a lot more harsh. Do it flat. Let's do it smooth. Smooth strokes. Long strokes. Just like making the board. Bonk. Bonk. Bonk.
Alright, let's bring that beat back.
It's not straight. Crooked, one could say. Inconsistent, perhaps. Footsies. What to do with them? First of all, this toe arrangement, bad. No. Dislike. Clear that out. Get rid of that. Get rid of that crap. This toe, this lower leg would have to be much thicker to match this one. We're gonna instead downsize this one to match the other one. Meh. Eh. These just look so thin. They don't look all big and burly like the other, like the ones down there. We should fix. They're gonna match. Go. I'm gonna have to sketch this out again, I think. Yeah, let's do that. A long toe, shorter toe, shorter toe. So basically, the longest toe will be in the middle. This one we got a long toe, shorter toe. So that one will be hidden. This is a side. I think that'll work. I'll have to work it out. First, just get the middle toe. Ooh, 70% of your final grade is due in less than an hour. Started working on it today and only have around 200 more to go. You push the deadlines and it still looks fantastic. You started all the work on it today. Okay, you're doing great. I appreciate you dropping by here, but you need to get that done, okay? You get that done, get those 200 words in, and then come back, okay? Or however that ends up going, you know. Basically, priority work more important than watching my stream. I appreciate your support, but you got to take care of you, man. Also, I will hydrate. Good luck, Snowcloud. I'm cheering you on, man. Yes. Yes. That is. You know, I've been there. I think one time I wrote 3 essays in one day. That was not a fun day. Working on it for hours. Just about a week. What the heck? Did it in a day. Impressive that you've gotten this much done, and I encourage you to get the rest of it done so your hard work does not go to waste. And now there's a fly. Don't be distracted. I'm cheering you on, Snowcloud. You got this. Gonna kill the fly. Don't just kill that fly. Kill it on that assignment. Cause I think you got this. Just you can do it. It's a mosquito. Or a yellow fly. I hate yellow flies. They're big and they hurt when they bite you. They're not like mosquitoes where they bite you and it's at least painless. No. Yellow flies are sucky. Ha! You. Dang it! I need to just fix this whole foot. Something's wrong with it. Okay, so we have this. Hypothetically, this. I'm getting all skeletal down here. This would be like right at this thing, kinda. And this one here. This one would be here. Let's do the same over here. First, let's reestablish our level ground. Bonk. Now let's chart this. Okay, so that's kind of part of the problem, is this is way smaller than it is on the other side. So let's actually make this side bigger. That should do. I think. Pose resolution. Just have it like that. There we go. I think that will do. Also, why is this so thick? Must be shrank. Eh. Eh. Hypnotized. I think that's against OSHA regulations. I'm a little bit glad that my model doesn't have a way to track like my expressions super detailed, because when I'm concentrating, I'm making a near constant frowny face. So I would look grumpy, I would just look grumpy all the time. It'd be interesting though, to have a model that good. Carver, hello, and welcome to the stream. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing well. How are you doing today? Boing. Meh. Yeah, I getcha. Some days are meh days. It can't all be rockstar days. This needs to be. This is deformed. Oh dear. Oh dear. I'm struggling to draw the feetsies. Nintendo Progress in Okami and Punch was basically the world's equivalent of the... Hey, if it works, it works. Good job. You know, sometimes you gotta solve a problem by growing an arm and a hand and punching something in the face. Just gotta do it sometimes. He's little. Burn him down a little. Give a little more toe on top, I think. Crimson Helmet said to be born from the blood of an Orochi 100 years ago. Me, haha, brush go swoosh, brush cut go slice, and God mirror go smash. Yes. Bonk bonk. Also, you finished an animation yesterday. Nice, nice. You gotta let me see. Send to me on Discord or something. If you want to show me, of course. You do not have to if you wish to keep it hidden. I understand. You completed with a mouse for 270 frames. Impressive. Most impressive. As you can see, I do not draw with a mouse. Can't see me drawing with anything. I use a tablet, not a mouse, for a reason. One of these days I'm going to upgrade to a screen tablet, but that day is unfortunately not today. There's an Apple mouse too. Is there something wrong with Apple mice? Is there something that makes Apple mice worse than normal mice? guess I've never had an Apple computer, so I've never had that trial. Tab mice are one button, and basically the whole thing is a scroll wheel. So is it like everything else Apple is doing and removing essential features and minimizing it as much as possible? Like with their AirPods and their phones, how they don't have headphone jacks. Slight finger movement counts as a scroll. Oh dear. So you were zooming in and out a lot, I presume? Sounds like pain. Tiny toe impression, it does get tiny toe. No more tiny toes. Tiny toeses. No use using a flip book site and the whole thing moved when it scrolled, causing lines to not go where they should have. Oh no. That sounds awful. How did you survive? Why did you put up with that? All in the name of progress, I guess. Use the duplicate frame button. You know, that makes sense. No work, make copy and fix. Actually looks too bad. At least it's better. Beatsies. Crunch. Alright. Basically, you made an animator versus animation ripoff, and to show the stick figure being drawn, you drew a little bit, then duplicated the frame, then drew a little bit more, then duplicated the frame. That makes sense. Also, don't worry about like heavily about using another idea as to practice your own things, because the fact that you just directly mentioned where you got your idea from means that you're giving credit. So that's okay. Like, you know, fine. It's fine to get inspired by other things. Sometimes to just do the same thing that they're doing. That's it, because it's cool. Because you might end up doing your own thing eventually with it. Who knows? And you're not claiming it as your own original idea, so I say it checks out. How's the art going? I'd say pretty good. We're in line at least to finish the flats. I mean, the flats are all this really needs, but we're definitely gonna get the lines done in time. I just need a little bit more. So yeah, it's going. I'd say it's going well. No problems here. What do you think? Dino, yes. It's not a dinosaur. Heck, it is a fantasy creature, so it does not qualify as a dinosaur technically, but it is largely inspired off of dinosaurs, so yes, dinosaur, dino. It's kind of cute. I agree. It's one of those things that's super cute, but it rip your face off. It's kind of small, so it probably wouldn't like on purpose. But if you threatened it, it could certainly cause a lot of damage. Like it's not too big. The reason I'm making it here actually is so we can put it on the grand size chart. Basically, that's what I'm doing. I finished this design previously with this picture. So now I'm working on basically getting it ready for this. That be an eel? Which one? Are you talking about this one? Yes, well, it's not an eel really. It's my eel dragon. It takes inspiration from eels. So yes, it's an eel. It's at least 50%. You thought the beak was the face? Oh. Hello, Snow. Yeah, Snow's been hanging out. Snow, is your thing done? No, so have you seen the Batman? Batman. Batman. This should do, I think. Now we duplicate the lines. Combine them. Yeesh. Yeah, I hear it's pretty good. It's just dark. It is not it is definitely not the classic comic book Batman. All right, let's get our main color, which I believe is this. And let's get some colors. The worst part is the score, which sounds like the Imperial March from Star Wars, but the rest of the movie is 10 out of 10. Ooh. They copied Imperial March? It is March. I was gonna say it's not even March, but it is. It is for one more day. The first fight was the best fight in the whole movie. Sharp and snappy. That's good. Good thing they started off strong. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think a strong, a strong start, like with little details like that, is better, or a very strong conclusion? Don't disagree. Honestly, you liked all the fights. All right, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I heard it's good. It just doesn't sound like it's my speed, you know. I'm a whimsical, Pixar loving, DreamWorks loving fish. Yeah, someone really good, but the first is your favorite. All right, that's good. That's good. All right, let's get this filled in. Like, also, you like the detective work and the fact that Batman learns that developing the Bruce Wayne persona is actually worth it. That makes sense. It is his secret identity. Are we just gonna do this? I think we'll just do this actually with the textured pen. Also, Robert Pattinson is good at playing an edgy billionaire who dresses as Apparently so. People liked his performance. So, hats off to him. He did good. Better than I could do for sure, but I am not an actor, so it'd be an ill-suited comparison. I bet I bet I can't VTube way better than him, because someone like with that kind of a name starting VTubing would become very popular very quick. Also, Snow, make sure you're getting your work done. Don't forget about that. Very important. You notice the character in the beginning getting a lot of focus who was played by the guy that was Tim Drake in Titans Theater. It was just like, he was just like, "Hi, Robin." That's funny. This is different. Dang it. Curses. Is it two different colors? It is. Darn. We're gonna go with this color. So we got that. Actually goes like all the way up. What we'll do is we'll go in with this and just kind of block in all the colors, and then as needed we'll refine it. You know. There we are. Bang. You know, something that's kind of an interesting thought to me is that comic books used to be like sort of like for kids, and now they are not. Now they're really for adults, because the audience for comic books has matured, and now they're still trying to cling on to that audience, because it's hard to get new ones into comic books. Kind of dying out. Comics used to be like Adam West Batman. Now we have stuff like Injustice. Yeah, exactly. They used to be silly. It used to be feel good, basically feel good stuff for the war. Or for I think it was World War I is when they were originally invented. By invented I mean popularized. in the like superhero comics in the capacity we know as we know them today. Was it World War One? No, I think it was World War Two. Yes, must have been World War Two because they fought a specific group of that shall not be named, known for their particularly despicable crimes against humanity. But yes, it must have been World War Two. Was it World War One as well? I don't know. It was World War Two when they were popularized. So yeah, comic books were originally for kids, and now they are pretty much only for adults. See, not that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just more of an observation than anything else. It's like, huh? Industry's really changed over time, hasn't it? Just finished your work? Excellent. You got it turned in and all that? Already? All shipped? We need more superhero media like Batman, the animated series, for kids but still dark enough to be enjoyed by parents. And Batman, Brave and the Bold, silly and based on the Golden and Silver Age, but not terrible. Okay, Batman, the Brave and the Bold was honestly... I agree. I agree with that. Both of those statements. We also need more Static Shock. Don't know Static Shock, but I do know Batman, the animated series, and Batman, the Brave and the Bold, both of which were quite enjoyable. Static Shock is a masterpiece? What's it about? Who did it? I assume DC, but I could be wrong on that. Let's see. Static Shock is a DC show that's more known from the cartoons in the 2000s. Oh, interesting. Well, who did it? Who done it? Like, what was it about? I mean, we know it was DC, so who done it is kind of a useless question. Yeah. Yeah. Follows Virgil Hawkins, who inhales this gas that gives him electric base powers, and he decides to become a superhero, like his mom, who was a first responder who was hit by a stray bullet during the Dakota Street riot. Okay, that's quite the backstory. Makes sense. Was the Dakota Street riot a real event? It sounds like one, but it might not be. For like size 35. Shows details with a lot of heavy topics like racism, homelessness, and bullying / gun violence. Yes, that sounds about right. They're hard topics to touch on well. I'll say that, because it's like, do you deliver the full picture? Do you deliver it in a sanitized, entirely family-friendly way? Like, it's just hard. It's just a hard subject to tackle, especially for Joe's going for mass appeal, and instead of really targeting a specific audience. Which I think is honestly a major flaw of media in general these days, is mass appeal is more important than knowing your market. Like, appealing to as many people as possible is the priority over really knowing your audience, you know? Mosquito got you on your knee. I got his life. Gonna feed it to your plant. Alright. That seems like ample revenge. It shall become plant food. For all eternity. Until the plant too is inevitably recycled back into the earth from which it came. As all things are. Here, we're gonna actually, like, vary up the base pattern a little bit. Hydrate? I will hydrate, Jonesy. Give me a second. Have all of you hydrated? I'll save. Right after I finish this line. Ooh. Let's see. Highlight your message. No, it wasn't a real thing, but from what you heard, it's based on the LA street riots. Also, the heavy topics are actually really well handled, especially the gun violence and homelessness episodes. Well, I'm glad, because it's a thing we just tend to look the other way from until it's too late. So I think it's good that some people are willing to tackle those kinds of topics. Also, save and hydrate. You know what's an interesting thought? Is that the idea of franchises and the essentials of good writing kind of butt heads. Because in order to have a franchise, you need to keep a story going as long as you possibly can, as long as it's still profitable. You gotta keep making it. And to keep a story profitable, you gotta keep it good. You know, it's gotta be effective storytelling. The problem with that is, the longer you extend out a franchise, the greater chance there is it's gonna go wrong. Because it's very easy to retroactively make a series worse. If the Star Wars sequels trilogy taught us anything. So it's kind of a bit of an enigma. It's like good storytelling is kind of inherently not a part of the franchise, a part of any franchise. Like, no, that's not the right words. The essentials of good storytelling are not contributed to by the needs of a franchise, basically. Because because an element of good storytelling is knowing when to quit, like knowing when to stop. Yeah, from what you heard, a lot of good cartoons were canceled because of lack of merchandise sales. Exactly. You can have a good show, but if it doesn't make money, it can end up in the trash, end up in the waste heap. But you can have a mediocre show as long as they keep selling, they'll keep making more. That's why we have 5 Ice Age movies, which maybe it's a good or bad thing that we won't be getting anymore, but we definitely got enough Ice Age movies. Let's see. So yeah, that's the thing. And an essential part of good storytelling, see, that's the thing, because sometimes a franchise can still tell crappy stories and just keep going for some reason, and people will still buy it, and it's pretty wild. It's pretty whack. But at the same time, quality storytelling really can't go on forever, because eventually you'll squeeze you'll eventually squeeze the life out of the creative juices. Will eventually all be used up. in a good franchise. And that's the thing, especially with a good story, is you can't plan ahead infinitely. Like, you can only go so far to make it work from the beginning. Otherwise, you'll just never start. And knowing where your end point is just as important as knowing where your beginning is. Because if you don't know where it ends, how will you know what to do, or where to go, or what to end up on? Because usually what happens if you're flying by the seat of your pants is you'll end up with a poorly thought out story, which is no good. But at the same time, if you don't at the same time, if you cough Jurassic Park and modern yes, that okay. You know what? You thank you for bringing that up, because I now believe that I'm less on the. I'm not the only person who has this, who knows this. The fact that you at least made that connection. A lot of modern reboots aren't like continuations of old franchises. Really don't need to exist and should not have been made. And were made only for profit. That's the franchise side taking over, because the storytelling side is long gone and expended. It's one of those things that it's just so popular that it sells anyway. You know, but eventually it reaches a point where it just won't. You know, eventually it'll be spent, which is, you know, it's one of those things where I don't know. I guess as a storyteller myself, I've become more aware of the fact that, yeah, if you go on forever and milk something dry, you're just gonna make it worse. Batman and Justice League started decades ago. They were successful and rebooted to hell and back at the beginning, but no end. Exactly. That's the thing. They keep rebooting and rebooting and rebooting, and now it's confusing. What is the continuity of the Justice League? What is real anymore in the story? And that's the thing. Making more of what people like will make more money, but eventually it just grows stale. Should have pulled a Batman Beyond. That would have been a good idea. And honestly, of course, big businesses would never do this, but I'm in the opinion that the only way to keep a really long-term successful story studio, entertainment studio, would be to do something like either be part of a conglomerate so you can be carried out whenever you're not doing good, like Disney, most of Disney stuff, or be like Pixar and make a new story every time. Like, you can't, franchises are like, it's not even really a franchise because it's based just around being Pixar. Like you have to be, it's like an artist who does one thing all the time versus an artist who does a lot of things, and their followers will follow them for all of those things that they do, and not just for that one thing that the artist, not just one thing, like for an artist that only draws one thing all the time. Like it's a specialist versus a generalist. And it's important to be a generalist sometimes if you really want that talent to stay. You know, like, I'm under the opinion that smaller and independent stuff are better than the big corporations, unless the very small chance said corporations still put heart in their project. And that is something, that is another point, actually. I think a lot of movie adaptations of books flop because they don't have heart. They are made for money and cash, and thus, like, money is put in the wrong places, and it turns out bad. Like, they did it for they do it for the money talks, and it just ends up lining people's pockets because you're not passionate. How it's hard to be passionate about a story that somebody else already told and was already successful with, you know? Like, how are you gonna approach that with a new and interesting light? Because the most hilarious excuse is that it's the director's interpretation or whatever. It's not. It's just wrong. They just changing things because they want to, or because they don't have the budget, or because they moved something, or, you know, it's kind of sad, honestly. Like you could just tell there was no heart put into it, because generally those kinds of movies just fail as movies. Like they're so lazily done that they're just not even good to watch. I mean, sometimes director, I mean, yeah, but by director I mean like this I mean, yeah, it's the director. The director has a lot of influence on how everything goes. But like the Artemis Fowl movie, for example, an adaptation of a beloved series of books, did horrible. One of the worst movies ever made. Zack Snyder DC Star Wars prequels, Last Airbender. Exactly. It's either a copy of what came before, or it's just not well done. Like there's no heart in it. It's already been spent, you know? Which is kind of why a roundabout way to go back to the first idea I brought up on this little tangent is that franchises need to find stopping points. Which sounds weird, because it's like, no, you want to keep making movies because they keep making money. But and they will. That's how franchises work. They'll keep making money until they don't make money anymore, which is unfortunate. But it kind of results in them. I'm an artist, as you could see. I like art for art's sake, as in like, yo, let's make something cool that we're passionate about. Let's have some fun. But it's just more and more obvious that there was no fun in the movie. They just did it for money. I mean, why else bring up a big nostalgic property from the dead? Like there was a Matrix movie made recently. I don't know why they did that, but everything I've learned about it indicates that it kind of just retcons everything. It's like, why? Why'd you do that? If you ever animate your characters, you have a feeling it'll be good because you genuinely care about your characters. They are your babies, except for 3, but they exist purely for lore. Okay, so here's the thing. I would not. Let's see. First of all, I appreciate the positivity. I think it might not be as smooth of a road as you expect, but I think it will lead to something good. Because true passion, I believe, will lead you to do the research and get the techniques and all those things to do it well. I mean, yeah, if you're dedicated enough, you'll figure it out, you know? Like, I think of course there are bad indie movies. There's good indie movies. UC School's media program has animation and game design, which is what you're going into. Nice. Yeah, I think you'll do great. Honestly, I think you're smart. You have the know-how. You have the drive to learn, which is important. And my babies, except 3. That's the biggest creator. They are my babies, except you 3. You are excluded. I'd say I have lore, but I have lore for this world building project. But I don't have any. I have so few characters. Like, if I'm to be honest, my characters are funny Splatoon original characters. Those are my only characters that I have made, and of course unrelated. They're unrelated to this project. You have the desire to learn, mate. You sound exactly like your theater teacher. Well, I'm kind of I'm basically a pseudo-academic because I dropped out of school, so I didn't do so well in school, but I do like to learn a lot. So, chances are me and your teacher and I might be cut from a similar cloth. Yes, Splatoon OCs, you're way too many. I know. Yes. I speak of my squid-based past. They're all girls, though. I like drawing girls too much. I need to draw guys. Going to sleep when you can. Good night, Still Cloud. Thank you so much for dropping by the stream, and good luck on your work today. Good job getting it done. Which are the characters you dislike? Oh dear. Yes, good night, Snow. Thank you so much for dropping by. I will hydrate, by the way. I will get my hydration. See, that's the thing. A lot of my OCs, I don't even have a story for. Like, they're just so poorly defined. I just make a design and I'm like, yes, this is good. I want this. I want more of this. Perfect, good, great. I mean, originally I did actually make OCs, Splatoon OCs, because I had a funky little animation thingy on a YouTube channel. That was pretty whack and lasted a relatively short time. I wasn't very good at it. Not because I couldn't animate, because I couldn't make funny scripts. I mean, they were kind of funny, but they relied on memes. So it was alright. It was fine. Wouldn't show it off to anybody, though, because... Heck, they were bad. Oh, dear. I should really actually kind of clean up that old channel. These two Splatoon OCs are brothers, Agent 3 and 4, are best boys. The two Splatoon OCs you have are the aunts and uncle. Man, that's the thing. When I make Splatoon OCs, it's not even like anything to do with the canon. Like I don't have any Agent OCs. I don't got none of that. My OCs are just... This is a character that lives in the universe somewhere, and they interact with another character. And that's about it. Like, no lore explanation. They're just average citizens. Because you know what? I can do what I want. I'm a free spirit. Someday I want, you know what my big, like one of my big dream things would be people that have OCs of my in my world building project. That would be like the dream come true. That is like I have made it as a world building project. I have inspired others. I realize I have to do some modifications to the races though. Some of the things I chose didn't make sense. This was doing OCs, so either canon characters or people that are unfortunately roped into the canon OC shenanigans. Yeah, so it seems like we have kind of an opposite approach on that. Like, my characters don't interact with the main story at all, which is something I kind of do because it's like, I can't change the main canon. Like, that's impossible. So I just avoid it entirely. Just skip that step. Let's write some, I don't know, stuff. I don't know. I don't write much about it. Because my word processor isn't working, as I said before. And I would really like it to work. I need to make a call sometime. But that's overrated. I'll get it done. Get it done sometime. I'll probably ask my poppy for help. It'll be great. It'll be great. We'll fix it. I'll be able to type again. I mean, I can always use Google Docs, but this pattern is pretty repetitive. Let's break up these lines. Erase some of them. Bum-ba-dum. See, Carver, you saw all my characters when I post. Yeah, you commented on them. I was gonna say you saw all my character designs. I kind of want to make a few more so I can just round out all their stories. That's the thing about me. I do a lot of world building, but I don't do a lot of like actual writing with the characters. Like they never do anything. They're just there doing their character things. I don't know. Kind of whack. Kind of weird. I should write more. Guess it's not really my strong suit. I mean, I don't know. Planning is my strong suit. Execution is not. Nope. Main OCs, specifically Agent 3, are two of your oldest characters that go back to when you were like 5th grade. Yes, the power fantasies. No, I can't completely change that. No, I'm not proud of it. And yes, you peed you're standing out the window to have to make sense. Yeah, you know what? I get you. I've had plenty of characters. I'll be honest. I probably indulge in that a little bit still. I do appreciate strong characters, but I like to have, I don't know, I like to have some kind of dampener on their powers. I don't know, because I think you can you can make a character that's overpowered. Like, you can make an interesting story around an overpowered character. You just have to be careful with how you do it, because often you have to reflect on the fact that, oh yeah, they're overpowered. How does that influence the people around them, you know? Like One Punch Man does that pretty well until it abruptly ends, and just ends. Why did it end? I don't know. It didn't finish. I have no idea. A regrettable loss, but who knows? Love writing characters first, world later. I am very much a world first character. I mean, depends. For my world building project, obviously it's world first, and then I may or may not ever tell a story in it. It might just be the world building project, which would be fine with me, honestly. I quite enjoy working on it anyways. Not always about the completion, Spider-Man. You poured silly putty into the plot hole by adding a basic energy system and being like, wait, this guy's situation would generally traumatize anyone and or make them depressed. Hypothetically, yes, that would be a thing. I don't know. You remind me, another reason I like slice of life character, like basically I tell slice of life stories instead of epic stories most of the time, because it's, I don't know, it's kind of fun to view it from that lens, in my opinion. It allows you to view overpowered characters as well, because if you're just looking at them from a slice of life perspective, you can really focus on just what makes them tick, how their abilities affect their everyday life, all that kind of stuff. Like slice of life stories? Yeah, exactly. I like them a lot. That's probably the kind of stories I'd write, just because. By like, I mean love. Yes. Just because, you know, action scenes are cool, explosions are cool, but you know what really gets me going is getting a cup of coffee. Because nothing opens up opportunity for characterization like slice of life. It is basically just characterization, interaction, all of the wonderful, juicy character things that we know and love, all in one easily digestible format. So yeah, that's me. Yup, that's me. I bet you're wondering how I got there. You lost Splatoon-based RP and you have 2 OC couples and you're really proud of how you write them. Well, I am glad for you. I technically have 1 OC couple. I don't do much with them. I kind of stepped away from RP. I actually did do a lot of RP with my characters, but I kind of, with my migration out of a particular community, I have since been a bit isolated from all of that. But I think that that step I took was for the better, in my opinion. Can you send you the screenshots if you want? Sure, why not? See, something I make a lot of girl characters because I like girls, but something I'm kind of worried about is, like, I don't know if I properly can roleplay this, because, you know, I've never been a girl before. Not that it can't be done, but I don't know. Something I'm cautious about, I suppose. I need to make more guy characters. That would probably be a good idea. Ooh, your eye is nice and big. Wonderful beast. So you feel there, RP is definitely negatively affected you at multiple points. Ask Gumi, she's witnessed you having a panic attack. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, that sounds awful. It's been a while. I kind of miss it. But at the same time, do I? Yeah. Had about 3 in that server. Oh my. Oh my. For what reason? I mean, of course, I know panic attacks are kind of serious, so if you don't want to talk about it here, then I totally get you. And you do not have to go deliberate any further. Or just discuss, explain. You don't have to tell me if you don't want to. Hey. That looks kind of weird. Hold on. Overlay. What color did we use? What color did I use? Oh, palette. Did I use yellow, really? That was old palette. We have a new palette. Is it just this background color? Now it can be. Add. First, you were caused by you not thinking before hitting send and leaving the server in a panic. Last time you left from one was when a person with a randomness character, you know, intruded on a lore scene and you kind of told him to screw off. Oh. Yeah. See that. Gotta understand that, you know, people be different. Different goals for what they're doing. Some people are much more casual. Some people be just, yeah, several minor runs since then, but you haven't left the server yet. Yeah, I understand. I don't know. I'm not one to leave a server unless I'm really done with it. Not say that you did anything wrong. I understand everyone's situation is different, but it just, I don't know. I don't see the reason to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just calm and basic. Don't get emotional. I know that is something I'm good at, is staying relatively calm in stressful situations. Sometimes you need a stable brick wall to help handle a situation. And that is me. That is the thing I'm good at. The only problem with being a stable brick wall is if your brick wall is built incorrectly, then it could cause problems, because I have a very hard opinion my opinion is very hard to change on how something should be handled, basically. So sometimes when my mind's set on something, it can cause problems with my stubbornness, but also sometimes that stubbornness is beneficial. So, you know, strengths and weaknesses. Logical size go to that? Yeah, exactly. You are not. Well, we are inherently emotional creatures, you and I, though we may be different. And that is nothing to be ashamed of. Also, one will make many mistakes throughout their lifetime. I mean, I've got plenty racket around still, but it is okay to... It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to do things that we don't think we would have done if we had thought more about it. Sure, if you literally made out of creative energy and emotion. Exactly. Born from the ashes of creativity rises the derp. Bonk. Bonk. That do? Should I remove that? I think I'm actually going to remove all this. Bonk, 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 bonk. Dinosaur. Light blue's kind of nice. Wow. Amazing. I have to decide if I'm happy with how this turned out, because I'm a little bit skeptical. I might actually redo it again. It definitely has better head proportions. It looks like it passes a small creature. Just a few things holding it back. I don't know if I can accomplish without rethinking. Not bad. Just maybe not where I want it to be. The derps are made for the sole purpose of making people happy, feel better. Due to our close relation to common tune, we tend to do that by becoming actors in cartoons. But unique derps typically do it through their special quirk. All of us are deeply connected to emotions. It makes sense. Emotional creatures, one could say. What do we think? What do we think? Save the OG. I think better than any crap you could. Yes, I hear you, but what do you think about it? I need not know if you could do better or worse. I need know what you think. Think it looks amazing? Why, thank you. We'll put this one on the shelf. We'll probably revisit it another time. So it will have to wait before it is put on the holy document of features. I want it to be good. It just needs time. And speaking of time, we are gonna wrap up today's stream, because that seems like a good time. Yeah, excuse me. Take a good time for that. Bonk. Alright. Why don't we do a little raid? Raid? Yes, raid. First, Carver, do you have anyone you want to raid? If not, I have one person who's streaming right now. Okay, this is how it always goes on Wednesdays, right? Early afternoon, like to evening, there'll be plenty of people I watch streaming, right? By the time we get to nighttime, like once I'm done streaming, they're all gone. All of them are done. Except for like 1 or 2 people. It's consistent, and I think it's just funny. bonk, bonk. Just recommendation, guys, if we need Lady Stars playing Breath of the Wild. 17 viewers. Alright, alright. Let's see. I would go for it if it was an art. You know, I'd go for rating someone random if it was art. You know, but I think we'll go for Doc. I appreciate Doc. Okay, let's art, you say? Yeah, you got an artist. You want to raid? Actually, no. You know what? Don't bother. As in, I appreciate your work. I appreciate your efforts, but I kind of do want to raid Doc. He's really cool. We're gonna raid Doc Pestis. He's playing some Assassin's Creed and doing some fights. So we're gonna. Okay, yeah. I thank you. I do appreciate your contribution, but we're gonna raid it. Good old Doc Pestis. What should our raid message be? We always do a fish raid or a variant of a fish raid. So do we have any ideas for variants of fish raiding today? Bonk. Sunfish invasion. Okay. Sunfish invasion. Of course, you are not obligated to use these emotes if you don't have them. We're invading. It's like Dark Souls. Okay, how much time do we have? We're running out of time. Okay. So, I want to thank everybody for dropping by the stream today. I want to thank you for all your chats and your lurks and your redeems. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you all have a great time zone, and I hope to catch you next time. So, I will see you all in a minute. Bye, everyone.